So the project at hand is this 2013 Chevy Traverse, and the issue with it is it won't start. You get one click out of the starter when you turn the key and that's it. We're going to replace the starter. So the first thing we want to do is disconnect the battery. So what you're going to do is you're going to come inside the passenger rear door. It helps if that seat's forward a little bit. And right here on the floor is this panel. We're going to remove this screw. This is a T-20. So we'll pull that out of there. That'll give us access to our battery. And then we're going to remove that, well, we're going to loosen that 10mm nut right on top of the battery. Well, maybe. Should allow us to fold that guy down out of the way so he doesn't inadvertently come back up here and touch the terminal, and we're all set. So with the hood up, looking down, you can't really see anything beneficial. There's your oil filter, there's your exhaust manifold. The starter actually lives between the exhaust manifold and the engine block. There's a mount that we got to remove to gain access to the starter. You can just start to see it right there if you look down off the edge of the oil filter. I'm going to remove the oil filter for filming purposes, and you'll see the nut that's accessible from up top. Everything else is accessible from the bottom. Okay, so with the oil filter out of the way, you can see that nut on top of that mount. And that's an 18mm. Looking up from the bottom, this is that mount. Well, that's that mount. This is the bracket, the engine side of the mount. So there's a bolt right there, or pointing right there, right there. Third one, and then there's a fourth one way up in there. But I think if I come in at it from this angle here, I'll be able to get that one out of there too. So once we get this engine mount out of the way, we get access to the starter. It lives right up there. So there's one more bolt. A nut. It's on the bottom side of this mount, and it's also an 18mm. Those bolts that secure this to the engine were all 15mm. Okay guys, I screwed up. So this big long bolt that you saw me take out did not need to come out. Where are we at here? That bolt came out of that thing right there. and that actually supports the, what is it, the AC compressor? Yeah, that supports the AC compressor to the engine. Whoops. Come on, light. So I can't really show it to you because I can't fit the camera. I can't fit the camera up in there, but right above that, way back in there, there's another bolt, it's 15 millimeter, and I started to loosen that one up, and then, as you can see, the whole bracket and everything is loose. So now I'm on the right bolt. So don't take that big long one out. You don't need to. So it was a little bit of a puzzle to get those two pieces out of there, but they're out. And with those out of the way, boom, there's the starter. There's two bolts holding the starter in, plus two wiring connections. Let's pull it out. Okay, I already removed the two electrical connections from this. It was too hard to do it and try to get the camera up in there, but if you made it this far, you wouldn't have an issue getting those undone. Well, there's a knock sensor in the way. I don't want to break it, so I'll put the starter back in place, and I'm going to just move this knock sensor out of the way. Always a good idea to compare the parts and make sure they're the same. One thing I see that's a little bit different is this one's got that shield on it. Heat shield for the exhaust, that one doesn't. But it's got the whole bolt hole in it, so I'm going to pull the shield off, put it on the new starter, and put it in the car. So off camera, I got that top bolt in, that one that was really awkward and hard to get at, and this is how I did it. I used a wobble extension with the 15mm socket with universal, and I went up and over the front part of the cross member, and I was able to finagle it in there. It's just something I just couldn't film. It was hard. I couldn't even see it, so you guys will just have to imagine. If you do this job, you'll know what I'm talking about when you get to this point. Okay, and all we have left to do is to put that 18mm nut on there and put our oil filter back on, and this job is complete. Alright, somebody's pissing me off. That should make me mad. That's my kids. What? So that's how you change a starter in a Chevy Traverse, GMC Acadia, Buick Enclave, or Saturn Outlook with the 3.6 engine. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, check out my other videos. Thank you.